Hey guys, Galgamation here. Excited to bring you this Priest Arena Run video. The deck goes really well, so hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get into picks. I kind of wanted to pick Mage here, but I'm like, nah, let's do some Priest. So, first pick here, pretty easy Sea Giant. I don't think Ooze is all that great, especially if you don't have support for your first pick. Temple Enforcer here, pretty easy. And we get a legendary, and I almost took Sylvanas here, but I really wanted to try a Vol'jin, so pick him up. Dark Cultist here for sure. The other card's okay, but what am I gonna do? Death is really good. And we get the second legendary, so this is pretty decent for this deck already. Definitely gonna go with Ragnaros here. Pretty excited about this deck at this point. Easy power word shields. I think I take the Ghoul here. I already have a lot of big drops, so I don't really want to pick up another 5-drop there. Pick up the 2-drop. Harvest Golem's a better card, but I want to make sure I don't lose early because I have a lot of good late game already. Pick up the Azure Drake here. Great card. This pick's kind of tough. Definitely not taking Undertaker, but Earthen Ring Farseer and Holy Smite are both really, really good. I end up going with Earthen Ring because it's a little bit better card, I think. This could be another tough pick. End up going with the Shriekmeister. I really do like the Explosive Sheep though. Shattered Sun Cleric. Easy Temple Enforcer. Don't really want any of those cards. We'll take Mass Dispel. Voodoo Doctor good. Again, don't want to lose early. Thought Steal's great. Fen Creeper, really solid card in Priest. I think I go Stone Tusk Boar. I don't really have anything to boost the Wind Fury guy for 3 mana, so I don't really think it's worth picking him up here. Only have the Shattered Sun Cleric, so I take the Repair Bot. This card's really good, even if you don't have mechs. Just like a 5/5 for 5 is really solid in Arena. Easy Owl. Northshire, great pickup there. Loot Hoarder, really good card to pick up. I do go with the Explosive Sheep. This card has definitely grown on me a lot in GVG Arena. I really like it. Second Northshire here. All those cards are pretty good. Take a Holy Smite here. I think I go with Blood Knight here. I mean, Shade of Naxxramas is really, really solid, but Blood Knight can be like absolutely crazy in Arena. Nice Shadow Word Pain, easy pickup. The Haunted Creeper here is a good card. And I think I go with Sledge Belcher here. Argent Commander is also a really good card. Both those cards you could have picked easily, I think. So this deck is really, really, really good, I think. It does end up getting all the way to 11 wins, so this is a pretty solid deck.
The light shall bring victory.
I'm all the thoughts still here. I'm okay keeping Earthen Ring Farseer. It's fine. I have a Shadow Word Pain to get rid of a 2-drop if he has it, so I'm not too worried. There's that great Mass Dispel. I mean, I could have taken the Ravenholt Assassin there, I guess, but I already had a lot of late game. Mass Dispel might be useful at some point. I don't know. I don't think it really mattered. I didn't really want any of those cards in my deck. So he starts off with the Murgle. Pretty sure. I think I Holy Smite that. Can't remember here. Nah, I don't even bother. I mean, it's a 2/1. It's not going to really do a whole lot. I do get to gain 2 life next turn already. So, play the Earthen Ring. Pretty solid hand here. Like I said, our late game is absolutely insane in this deck with the 2 legendaries, including Ragnaros and Temple Enforcers, and just all kinds of really heavy hitting cards late game. So as long as we can get through early game, like this deck pretty much is gonna beat out almost every other deck, I think, when we go late game. So he Arcane Shots and hits it. I mean, now his guy's definitely worth Holy Smiting. Get another power. Not a whole lot to do here. Pretty slow starting hand, that's for sure. That's okay though. I mean, he's not really pressuring us. I don't even play the Northshire here because I don't need to. So
Drink with me, friend.
He just plays the bear, so that's not too bad in hero power. There's that Vol'jin. Really excited about that card. It ends up being absolutely insane later on in this run, a couple times. That card is so good in Arena. Man, I actually do think I'd take it over Sylvanas and Priest because of just the swing it provides. Like, it gets rid of their big creature, gives you a big creature at the same time. Like, it allows you to trade with it with something that's not the best with minions. I don't really agree with this play here. You definitely should have traded into my Azure Drake, especially because he had the Hyena to make it bigger. Yeah, I mean, going to face with Uther there, I don't think was correct, but that's okay. Good for us. Allows us to kill that Hyena for free. This turns, I mean, you could do a lot of stuff with this deck because we have so many strong cards. So there's definitely a lot of options. End up just playing Raptor here and healing. Pretty good spot for this deck at this point. Actually, really good spot at this point for this deck.
I hope you like my
And
invention.
that secret is explosive trap as well. We did test for that, so that's important to note. I think he's kind of realizing now that he definitely should have traded that Huffer. That would have been it put us in a lot worse situation. I think we still would have been fine, but it would have been a way better play from him. In Arena, you have to trade, especially when you have really favorable trades. Like, Azure Drake is a pretty strong card. You just get to trade with it for free would have been pretty good. I think that card's kind of awful. The taunt 1/4 charge guy. I think I played it once, and I've had it played against me a couple times, and it just never been all that impressed. Pick up Fen Creeper, heal face. Fen Creeper as a 3/6 taunt and priest is so good because you get to heal it, so they can't chip away at it, and it's a big blocker to just shove in front of things. Really like that card of priest. I think it's pretty strong. It's okay in other classes, but I think in priest it's a really strong card. Like I said, this deck overall is, I mean, I think it's really powerful. This is definitely one of my better priest decks that I've had. The 2 legendaries are awesome too. Always fun to play with those. I mean, now he has that's a pretty good trade for him here. Pretty decent. Don't have a lot of good options here. Silence doesn't really do anything. I definitely want to play the Belcher, so I'm at 14, so I don't die to that. Like, he still has the 4 power on the board no matter what I do. Or the 5 power. I don't know. Could also play Sea Giant here. Belcher's definitely the safer play. This trade sucks, but there's nothing we can really do about it. Just heal face again. I end up playing Northshire here. The Northshire can die. I'm not super worried about that. I think I'll be okay for cards this game. Like, I do have some heavy hitters, the Vol'jin and the Sea Giant in my hand already. A little bit of a tricky spot here. Like I said, with this deck though, if you can get through that early game, like they don't have a big board and establish an early presence on you, I think it's pretty easy to win once we go late. It's going to be hard for decks to just beat the amount of late game we have. A couple of decent trades for him again here. The one thing too is we don't have a Holy Nova, so it does make us extra weak early as well. This deck definitely can use the Holy Nova. There's that Ragnaros. Get that bad boy up there.
Right away.
Can't really afford to draw here. I have to heal face anyways. So definitely want to get rid of that Houndmaster as well. Make it hard for him to clear my Sea Giant. And I have to play the Owl here just as a minion, so I might as well just silence that Haunted Creeper. I definitely need minions at this point, because I have Ragnaros and Vol'jin in hand, so I can definitely win this game. I just have to stabilize a bit.
Pay attention, class.
I am ready to learn.
That is a lot of damage. Ouch. Have to draw the card there. And we lose the first game. And I was a little bit salty about that one, because I think this deck is really good. But it's okay, it ends up working out in the end. So that's fine. Alright, so for our next game here, Shaman. I think it should be an okay matchup for this deck. I don't think this deck has too many weak matchups, except for the really, really aggressive decks. So Hunter definitely probably not the greatest, and like a Zoo Warlock kind of attempt at Arena. Really good opener here. All kinds of early game. Got the Power Word Shield. Decides to Rock Biter my face turn 1. That's a play I would recommend that you never do, ever. Yeah, not much to say about that. It happens. I mean, when you see the low win arena, this could be this guy's like 3rd game of Hearthstone or something. So you gotta give people like a little bit of a break. Like, you never know. So. Play the Creeper here. Again, good start. Got a good trade for his 2-drop there.
Put this apple on your head.
There's a Knife Juggler going on. Let's see what we draw. Definitely want to kill that Knife Juggler. Use that board. Pretty good spot here. Got Vol'jin and Ragnaros in hand again. I hate that card in Arena. It's so swingy. Sometimes it, like in that scenario there, like that's really good because he's got the taunt, so he can protect it and just whirl, you know, hit my face a million times. That card is so. I don't know, it's pretty RNG heavy. Like, if they do that into Wolves or something, like, they can't get a scenario where you just win the game outright. Like, right here, there's the Wolves. You just win that game with that card. So, this is definitely not a great spot at all. Pretty rough. And we don't really have anything in our hand to do a whole lot about it. So you just gotta make the best plays that I can. This was not good because I obviously could have got the extra power from killing that. Realized that after. I was planning on playing the Blood Knight, I think. Decided to keep it. So made a mistake there. That's okay. I am a little bit tilted when I was playing this game because I lost that first game, which I really hate losing the first game in arena runs. And then I get this where he's got, you know, he Rock Biters my face, and then he goes Zap-O-Matic and Wolves and might win anyways. So I was kind of like, I was definitely tilted a bit here for the first few games of this arena run. So that's definitely a thing to keep important in Hearthstone in general, is try to keep your cool and, you know, realize that RNG happens and you can, you know, move through it. And with this deck I do, like, I get to 11 wins anyway, so there's really no reason to be upset at this point, right? So we can finally clear out that whirlwind guy. Which is nice. Now I feel okay. A lot better spot here.
The end is coming!
Doomsayer. Alright. More totems. Okay.
Hey, give me that!
Doomsayer doesn't really do anything here.
I knew it!
Just eats damage. Just gonna pass here. No reason to play anything else. Already ahead on board. Blood Knight and Vol'jin are both good cards to play to react to something, to remove a minion or Divine Shield or whatever. So I'd rather save those if I can.
The spirits be restless.
Hey, give me that!
So Vol'jin, pretty solid there. Didn't need to use it, but I wanted to. So pretty good spot here. Really like Vol'jin. Man, that card. I can't say enough. That card's definitely good enough for constructed as well. I think it's probably, I mean, that and Dr. Boom, the two best cards that came in at GVG. Haven't seen a whole lot of Vol'jin action that much GVG yet, but you will eventually. Like that card's pretty strong. So we can do a lot here. I think I want to try to bait out a Hex before I play my Ragnaros. Although in this spot it doesn't matter that much.
Let us see if this works.
Screw up here again, so I have to burn my coin. Oh man, I definitely don't play these first games all that well, because I was kind of upset. Still upset about that first game at this point in that thing, but what are you gonna do? Can't play perfect all the time.
Silvermoon shall not fall.
Temple of Force. I mean, at this point, there's not a whole lot to say. Game is pretty much over from here. Let's get one card in hand. Clear all this stuff. Just play Ragnaros here. Why not? Good old Arena Ragnaros. He's dead here, like 100%. Doesn't really matter what he does from this point. Heal bot.
Is someone injured?
Draw some cards. Why not? There's absolutely nothing you can draw here to be okay at this point, so. This game definitely went pretty well, even though I misplayed a bit. It's okay. So, we pick up our first win with this arena deck. It's Shaman deck. Kind of got really ahead early, and then he had nothing, like no mid-game or late game to back it up. That's why we won this game so easily. Lightning bolt myself, so why not? And that's it. So it's time to move on to the next one here. Hunter number 2 here. Definitely don't want to play against these like all face under 5 win kind of aggro arena decks with this deck. Definitely don't want to get into fights with those. I think this deck gets stronger as we go along, so we can play against decks with more wins. You're gonna see less and less of those all-in aggro type decks in arena, which I don't think they're good in arena. I don't think that's a good way to play it, because those decks just have such a poor win rate past 5 wins because you're playing against people who have answers, who have, you know, Lightning Storms, Holy Novas, Flame Strikes, Blizzards, Circle of Healing combo, just stuff to just AoE clear your board, and then if you're all in with those aggro decks, you pretty much can never come back from that in Arena because you lose way too many cards, and they have better mid game and late game as well. So I definitely would not recommend drafting like that. I think it's good for a few wins. I mean, I don't know. That's definitely not how I approach Arena. You definitely want to have a mid-range kind of focus deck, or pure late game too is also fine. But I think that's a way better focus. So especially too because once you get to 7 wins, you have the opportunity to go beyond 7 wins. Anyways, not too much to say about this game here. Have a really, really strong start against the Hunter deck. I mean, we take the initiative here, so could not be better for us right now. Have the Owl in hand for that. Really nice. Yeah, have a super strong start against this Hunter. My deck too also doesn't have like that bad of a early game for priests. We have quite a few low drops, and I made sure of that. Like in the drafting process, I took some low drops over things that were probably better cards in some scenarios, just because I know that's like the main weakness of priests, especially if you don't have a Holy Nova. Like to get to that late game is really important, especially to get to that late game where you're not in a position where you can never come back on board as well. Because that's another possibility. You can fall so far behind on board with priests that you're just never going to get back into the game in Arena because you don't have enough time. So this game going extremely well. Have the Death in hand, which will definitely kill that. Draw the Sea Giant for next turn. Play Cleric. Don't get any value out of it. Don't really need to. Don't even have anything to heal, so we'll just pass. So this is where you start to see a little bit of the strength of this deck come through. Like I said before, this is a really strong deck. Definitely one of the better priest decks. It's just probably like a Holy Nova or like a Circle combo away from being like my best priest deck in Arena. Or at least like a top 3 or something. I don't know. It's hard to remember. I played a lot of Arena to remember everything specifically.
Right away.
I do decide to clear this here because I have a good reason not to. You get that free Northshire value too. Also sets up the Sea Giant really nicely for next turn. This guy's deck doesn't look too bad. Like, he has some pretty good cards. Like, Double Yeti there is pretty nice. He didn't have enough early game to make them matter. Like, at this point, he's so far behind. And that makes it really, really rough for him. Decide to save the Azure Drake here. Definitely playing a Sea Giant. And heal our guy. Draw a card. Draw the Vol'jin. Pretty impossible for to come back at this point. He could maybe find a way to stabilize, but we have Ragnaros and Vol'jin in hand, and that's just going to be too much for him to deal with this game. That's where those big legendaries really come in nice. I mean, that's definitely a decent play. Like I said, this guy's played some really good cards for his deck. He just he fell behind way too much early. Pretty unfortunate for him. That could definitely happen in Arena. I've gotten better as that as I've played more Arena, because I realized that you only need so much late game, and it's more realistic that you fall behind early and lose and never get to your late game than that you run out of late game cards, enough late game cards to finish your opponent off. So I really do put emphasis on getting those early drops So I think tempo is just so important in Arena. Just trade off stuff. Play the Bank Creeper here. Draw some cards. When you're this far ahead, it doesn't really matter what you do. Plays aren't totally relevant.
Job done.
Oh, I guess I could have had lethal there too if I played Master Spell, if I drew it first with the guy. It doesn't really matter, he's so far ahead at this point. I also kind of, like, I have Ragnaros Vol'jin in hand, I kind of wanted to use them. Sort of BM about that, but I mean, it's not very often you get two legendaries in an arena deck, so it's definitely my focus at this point when I get so far ahead, try to find a sweet way to play those cards. Fortunately, I don't really get the opportunity to. That's okay, I mean, we'll take our win and be really happy about it. Especially against Hunter this early. And we get the Ragnaros finish. Always nice. Second win, and we'll move on to the next game here.
Anduin versus Uther.
I will fight with honor.
The light.
Yeah, Paladin matchup. Another deck that can definitely have a really insane early game. And it has some nice stuff to move into mid-game now. The early Divine Shields are really, really punishing from this deck. Can definitely guarantee a strong early board position. So there's not a whole lot you can do about the Divine Shield on, you know, turn 2. Either the Protector, the guy that gives Divine Shield, or the new mech that has the Divine Shield on it. Those are both really strong cards. Do decide to just run the Northshire out here. I do this because I have Power Shield in hand and Boar, so even if he plays like a 3-2, I can kill it. And then I can also draw cards from that Northshire if I need to. Also have the Voodoo Doctor to draw cards from that. We'll just do this. Pretty solid start. This is what we want to see early, like no coin dropped out on turn 2. The better we can get off as an early start of this game, the higher our chances of winning are going to be always. My hand's not the greatest here. 2 5-drops, so nothing really to do between now and turn 5. But I should be able to at least clear something and heal with my Northshire Cleric. Probably once, maybe twice before I get to those 5-drops. So not the worst position either.
Nox is
Right
so
away.
really passive start from him here. Really passive start. That definitely means, like, I definitely gonna play that Farseer here. So if he's not gonna do anything, I'm gonna try to build a board at least.
For the crusade.
And Arena, it definitely is okay to blow your battle cries if you need to.
Right away.
Or if you just want to get like a better board position, like you play your mind control tech on no board, or Blood Knight, Farseer, things like that, like just as a 3-drop. It's definitely okay to do that. Heal my guy here because I get an extra card and it puts him out of shade range next turn, which is super nice.
Not on my watch.
So, really good start here. There's an Argent Protector. Yeah, no Iotron. Pretty decent for him. A lot of options this turn, that's for sure. I probably should have looked at Mass Dispel longer here than I did. I definitely don't end up playing that card. I don't normally play with it, but it could have been pretty good here. I mean, we lose the draw power off the Northshire. We've already drawn a bunch off that and have a Thought Steal in hand, so that's not the worst. And we get to clear Shade. So that would have been pretty okay here. I'm pretty sure I don't make that play, though. Again, not used to using that card. Also, I guess it doesn't give us much of a board, but clearing the Shade is really nice. We do have the Death for it, so it's not the worst. Clear this like this. This is okay, too. Yeah, it's still a pretty good position.
Blood and plunder.
That's definitely something I can improve on. I'm looking for like when Mass Dispel's good in the future. A lot of time I just completely forget that card's even in my hand. Unless there's a really obvious silence target. Like Shade isn't super obvious here. Because I have, I'm just not super worried about it. Definitely using it here now. Lots of value. Oh yeah, it doesn't even silence my own guys, it's just your opponent's guys. Forgot about that. Yeah, so I definitely could have used that earlier, for sure.
Right away.
Really good in this spot as well. Ends up working out for me. I think him not attacking into my Fang Creeper there was probably a mistake on his part. He got pretty greedy. I mean, you obviously see his play. He's going to clear it next turn. I don't think he needed to do that, though. So, definitely looking for Get Down here, or Avenge, I guess. Lots of people play Avenge. Not sure how well I feel about that card. I haven't played a lot of Paladin Arena for a very long time, because I played almost exclusively Paladin and Mage Arena forever, since beta. Played a lot of that. I kind of dropped off with the Paladin. So I got a little bit bored of the class. A lot of the games feel pretty much exactly the same. You get ahead and use your Divine Shield, and then True Silver Champion, and then kind of hope they don't have big taunts that you can't clear efficiently, and win the game from there. It is a really good arena class, so I just got a little bored of it, so I don't play it very often. So, I mean, a ton of options here. It was Avenge.
Right away. Is someone injured?
Shrink Moister's guy. Clear it.
Quickly.
Double Clerics going here. Oof, always nice. He only has one card too, so now even if he does stabilize somehow, like, we're so far ahead on cards that the game's gonna be so hard for this guy to win.
Reporting for duty.
Which is how I expect games to go with this deck. Like, we have a lot of late game, we have a okay early game.
Reporting.
That card's really good. Excited to play with that card in the future for sure. Especially with Quartermaster making your Silverhand recruits a lot more relevant.
Right away.
We have the Belcher here, and CJ. Pretty good response. Start clearing these guys out.
Get back, you scurvy dogs.
Again, very far ahead here, so.
Reporting for duty.
I think that card's pretty solid. Pretty solid card. I know the comparison is between that and the Ventrico Mercenary. I don't know if that extra power is worth the effect. Generally, though, like, the cost more minions effect on Ventrico doesn't matter that much. It matters more late if you play that card later in the game, but that card is at its best on turn 5. It's definitely a comparable card. If I had to pick one or the other, I'm not sure at this point which one I'd pick. I don't have enough experience playing the Salty Dog. I guess the 4 power is definitely really relevant for True Silver Champion. Now for the Flame Cannon as well, and then always Frostbolt. So it does the 4 defense, I mean.
The victory.
it does make it, I don't know, there definitely are some drawbacks to that card. And he just decides to concede here. He knows he's really far behind, so... move on to the next game.
I will fight with honor.
So we get another Paladin matchup here. Definitely mull those two cards. I mean, Northshire and Holy Smite, always great to keep in your opener. Pretty decent opener. Shriekmeister, Fang Creeper. Shriekmeister is so good early. Love that card in Priest and Arena. Definitely helps because Priest, before GVG for sure, was really weak early. I mean, Naxxramas helped a bit with the Dark Cultist, but I think GVG helps a lot with things like Shriekmeister as well. Also, like, Matter Bomber is really, really good in Priest, I think. Certain things like that. So, we get to play Paladin again. Kind of tough to say if I'm going to play the Northshire here, because I do have the Holy Smite to clear something, but if he plays a 3-2, I have Shriekmeister too. I'll probably... I have two. I'm definitely going to play one now for sure.
Is someone injured?
Also screws up his turn if his plan was just to hero power, because he can't do that now, or he gives me a free card. So, like Northshire early, pretty good play a lot of the time. Now you have to decide if you want to play Shriekmeister or not, if you're going to need that ability.
Is someone injured? Right away.
Or I just you can play the second one too. This plays fine as well. Now he has to be just so careful if he plays anything. It has to have 3 power, right? I mean, Shriekmeister, pretty good here. Pretty good here.
Right away.
Whoop.
Quite what was planned.
Immediately realized I screwed up there. Didn't have enough mana to do what I do. That was pretty awful. But we have a really good start anyways. I do start playing these games a lot better later, so don't worry about it. When I was playing these, I was pretty upset. It's tough not to get a negative attitude when you lose early games in Arena, I find. Because I'm so used to getting a lot of wins that it's pretty easy to be like, oh man, I lost my first game, and just be upset about it for a while. What I should have done is probably took a break and came back to this Arena run and played it later. And I probably would have played these games a lot better. It ends up working out for me though. Draw all the cards here. It's really, really nice. So you have such a strong start. It doesn't matter. My misplay of the coin.
Squire, attend me.
Silverhand Knight. Yeah, I mean, Vol'jin, pretty strong here. Sea Giant, lots of plays. Lots and lots of plays to be made. It's easy to get greedy here and heal and draw, but we already have a lot of cards, and that's just not the right play. Because you could lose the board completely by doing that. Even though it may look really tempting, get greedy. I mean, we have good 5-drops here. There's really no reason to do that. So, really debating here. Like, Vol'jin, I kind of want to save it. Because I don't have Shadow or Death in my hand, so I can remove his stuff later, right? Sea Giant, it's okay. I guess I do end up drawing here. I don't think this is a correct play. Definitely don't think I should have done this.
Right away.
In retrospect, for sure, I mean, Vol'jin or Sea Giant would have been better. Like, he can clear these Northshires. I would have had a better board. He can't kill both of them anyways on his one turn. That definitely would have been a better play. My thinking behind that is, I mean, obviously, getting all those free cards from Northshire makes it so that in the late game, which we're getting to, I mean, we're almost at turn 6, it just makes it, I mean, even if he kills these Northshires now, it doesn't really matter. We've gotten so many cards off of them. I definitely could have put myself in a lot better spot, though. Next turn, I mean, kind of tricky as well. Think about playing the sheep here because it's hard to see a scenario where it's better later on than it is now. Because I'm gonna get ahead on this board, and I know that. The sheep kind of sucks when that happens. Also thinking about playing Fang Creeper just to blow his True Silver charge. Can't Thought Steal here. Or I guess I could have, I think. I can't see my full hand here. It's hard. Let's see if that would have been good. I mean, him not killing the sheep and then this sheep ends up being really good. Woo! So, lots of value there. He should have cleared the sheep first before doing the rest of his turn. I'm not sure if he realized that I could attack the Divine Shield and then use the sheep damage to kill it anyways. So, I mean, I get to clear his 3 minions for 1 there. It's pretty strong. Really like Explosive Sheep in Arena anyways. I think it's a super strong card because what I lose to in Arena often is like just people playing a million 2 and 3 drops before turn 5 and I can never come back because I don't have the proper AoE or enough mana for the AoE or I don't draw or whatever, and Sheep solves that problem pretty efficiently. I mean, they can have a silence for it, but it is only a 2-drop. Like, I don't know. The card's super strong. So you got the Force Tank. Shadow Word Death and play the Repair Bot here. Now we're looking super strong in this game. Even though I misplayed with the coin. And I probably misplayed as well with the 5-drop turn. But it ends up working out anyways. You can definitely get away with worse play under 5 wins because the players are not going to be as good. It's a lot less forgiving once you get over 5 and especially over 7 wins. Like, one misplay will cost you the game very often over 7 wins. Also, if your deck is not as strong as mine, you can get punished really hard for misplaying early as well. But my deck is so strong that like my cards are just good enough to power through it if I screw up. Still not a good reason to misplay. You should always try to play to your best of your capabilities. Oh, I mean,
Mind if I roll need?
pretty good hand here. We have answers to his stuff, Vol'jin, just all kinds of stuff. This Sea Giants ended up being pretty awesome this arena run so far. Really like that card Arena. I think it's definitely better than probably the best of the Giants in the arena. I don't like Molten Giant because for Molten Giant to be good, most of the time you have to be really far behind on the board because your life total is low. That means like an 8/8 is generally not going to be good enough and you die anyways. Mountain Giant can get stuck in your hand super easily. If you have a ton of card draw, it's okay sometimes. That card's pretty good. Pretty strong for him here. But I mean that's the rest of his cards, so he's pretty dead here. Also, when you have strong legendaries like Vol'jin and Ragnaros, I do like to try and save them in Arena, because I never know what he's playing, and they may come in really handy later on. And also, it's nice to have them not just die for free to removal. But this game's over here. Really nothing you can do. I have 2 8/8s, one of them is Ragnaros. I mean, Vol'jin in hand if we run into problems, silence, and just all kinds of stuff going on. But yeah, if you can save like your Ragnaros for later, I would definitely recommend it. I mean, this isn't something that's going to come up often in Arena, but if you can bait out hexes, polymorphs, just any kind of removal, equality in this case against Paladin, on your worst creature is generally a lot better, or minion. Because it's tough to if they have removal for all the 8/8s. Definitely why I play the Sea Giant here first as well. But yeah, that's going to be it for this game. We'll move on to the next one. Definitely gonna win with Ragnaros here to the face in style. We get a warrior matchup here. Definitely don't like warrior in arena. Don't think it's very strong. You pretty much have to get weapons to have a chance at winning games, and you're definitely not guaranteed to get weapons. And a warrior deck without like fiery war axes, despites, Arcanite reapers, stuff like that is really hard to build a okay warrior deck without those cards. So definitely don't like that class in arena. I try to avoid it as much as I possibly can. Mull 2 3-drops here, and don't really get anything from it, but we do have Smite and Pain to avoid those early minions if he gets them. Could definitely expect to not do anything these first few turns, because Warrior and Priest the most aggressive of decks, that's for sure. Plays with the Annoyotron. Gonna howl that. I think I'd rather keep the Shadow Word Pain than the Silence effect. Also lets me get a minion if he decides not to trade with it, so it's okay for me. I decide to smite that. Keep the minion on board. Get the 2 damage in. Pretty slow start from both players, so he just armors up again. I don't have any plays either on turn 4. Yeah, I draw the Shadow Word Death. Still don't have any plays on turn 4. Very slow start. Do have the Sludge Belcher into Temple Enforcers though, which is going to be nice. That's for sure.
Try this.
Weaponsmith, pretty solid card for him here. Good warrior card in general. You get the Sludge Belcher down here. He should definitely clear this. Well, he has the opportunity to, especially because I'm Priest and I can just trade into stuff and heal it. So he'll probably do that. Now he gets a slam, so draw a card. So he gets to clear the second part of the minion as well.
Blood and plunder.
And it gets the Corsair's energy. Pretty good for him then. Decided just Thought Stealing Cultist over the Temple Enforcer here. So I feel like I need better options, so I try to get some more cards. Don't really care if he kills the Cultist here and I don't get any value, because I don't think I really need it right now. Yeah, he does do that. That's fine though. That Wraith kind of annoying. Doesn't really affect my play too much here. The second Sludge Belcher. Could have played Temple Enforcer here as well. Also could have Shadow Pain the Mana Wraith to I don't think I needed to do that though. He gets another really good trade here. Good old Battle Rage. That card used to be insane when it read all damage characters, because you get 2 cards out of it for sure. And then for each minion on the board, you also got another card. But they changed that one pretty quickly. That card was definitely awesome though when they first did it. I ended up conceding here because I actually have something to do. I had an emergency that I had to go take care of. So, I mean, that's fine. I'm not going to sit at my Hearthstone game and avoid real world stuff. So that's okay. We move on to the next game here. Definitely not the end of the world if you have to do that. So we get to play against Rogue here for our next matchup. Unfortunately, we had to concede that last one, but like I said, I had something to do, and I'm definitely not going to let Hearthstone get in the way of things that I have to deal with right now. Or in RL, that is, whatever. Okay, opener here. The Shriekmeister, Shadow Word Pain, it's Cultist. Also have the Holy Smite, so pretty solid starter hands. Hard to say if coining out Shriekmeister is worth it here. I decided it is and do it. You can not do it too. Definitely an option. I think either play is fine in this scenario. He didn't do anything on his first turn, so decided to try to take the initiative because of I have a decent curve in hand, so
Let's get physical.
he plays egg. Again, pretty solid curve here. Not a whole lot to say. What's going on right now? Golem. And that Master Spell just looks better and better. Like slightly awkward here. Try to get max value out of all my stuff. End up just going for the on curve play anyways. I was sort of worried about him activating that egg. I mean, the odds are kind of low in Arena, though. That's definitely a card I want to avoid in Arena. You need a lot of specific cards in order to make that card relevant, which I think is pretty rare. I guess if you're late in the Arena draft and you actually have like maybe 5-6 cards that get activated already, it's a card you can pick up, I guess, and not be too bad. Just has a lot has to go right in order for Egg to work out for you. This is okay for me here. I get no value out of the Cult Master, but I mean, I do pretty much trade 2 for 2. So I am not going to complain. I decide to hold on to the Northshire here, because I would have to smite the Golem. And that's not something I really want to do in order to keep it alive, because you can just attack it with the dagger and the Golem.
This guy's toast.
Ah, so he does activate the egg. Yeah, it's okay. That's a pretty good draw. Raid on curve. Yeah, decided to play it down. So that worked out pretty well. I mean, he gets his egg activation, but I get a Sea Giant, so 8-8 better than 4-4. And he had to waste his 2 damage to do that as well. Like I said, egg, not really sold on that card in Arena. I guess in like specific scenarios, have a lot of activators. Good activators too. Like doing the 2 damage with a combo there is not the optimal way to do that. You want to have, you know, Power Overwhelming, Dark Iron Dwarf, Defender of Argus, just things like that. That's really, really good for me. Get a 2-for-1 out of a giant.
Put it on your tab.
Decides to do that, so he thinks he's... I don't know what... I mean, I'm just gonna heal it, obviously, here. Actually, no, I guess I don't decide to heal it. Because the Vol'jin play is just a little better. And I get 8 damage that way.
I wonder.
Could have played this safer here. Didn't think I need to. I mean, he's pretty low on cards already. This allows me to kind of go crazy with Northshire a bit. Because he's forced to combo and kill that guy next turn. I think about it really hard. Because I know that like he has that in hand and that was his plan. So if I heal it, but then he just trades with the Panda anyways, and I don't really have anything else to do this turn as well, because then I can't really play Vol'jin, so I do just decide to play Vol'jin here. Especially because I have the Holy Smite too, just kill this guy. This way I still have a 6-4 on board. Pretty nice. And he's at 11 as well, once I get that 8 damage in. I think this is probably the best play I can make in that scenario. Otherwise, I'm just stuck with a 1-1 and a Northshire against a 3-3 So then I kind of have to paint it, and then I don't have enough mana to Holy Smite Vol'jin something, so...
So many options.
I don't know, I think just giving him the giant here is fine. I already got a 2-for-1 out of it anyways. Plus I get this battle cry. He has another egg. This guy taking one too many eggs, that's for sure. Hey, 6-7 and 6-6, or we just kill this guy and deal 6, heal. A lot of options here. Most of them are gonna end up with me winning the game. Very strong board position. Tough game for this rogue deck. I just silence the egg to avoid any further shenanigans with that card. Vol'jin's such a strong card. It's so swingy in Arena. Can't say enough about how good that card is. Pretty much I take it almost over any legendary, barring like super specific circumstances in Arena or Priest. Really great card. Yeah, he's just really bad spot for him here. Once again, I play safely when I can. Like, I could have went face twice there and hope he didn't have anything to kill it. But I'm so far ahead, and I'm not at risk of dying that, like, I don't really get punished for playing safe here. I just continue to draw cards and get further ahead. And once again, I know I have the better late game deck, so I do decide to play safe here, and I think it is correct. I mean, you can go face if you really want, but that's only if, like, your hand's awful or you think you're in trouble of actually losing the game, so... We win that one, and go the next one there. And we get a Druid here. I definitely think I'm favored against Druid because it's also a deck that tends to go late game, and I think I have the advantage for late game for sure. Decided to mull everything here, hoping that I can get a 1 or a 2, and I end up getting a lot of early game, really lucky mulls there. Explosive Sheep I think is great in GVG. Personally, how I built my decks, it's absolutely perfect because it's a common neutral card that serves as early board clear, which is definitely something that the game was lacking before. I find it extremely useful in a lot of my decks because I do like to go mid-range and late game in my arena decks because I think it's the most consistent way to build up wins. So. He coins out his 2-drop there. I go with Spider here, so I can save the sheep in case he tries to build up more of a board, and so he can't just hero power my loot hoarder. I want to trade with that card. Okay, now sheep is clearly going to be the best play here, so... He ends up getting a free card, but I end up trading here, so we're going to be even on cards. Play the sheep, especially because he already used the silence effect of the owl, so that works out really well for me. Sheep is so awkward to deal with early because it's really silence is pretty much it most of the time that you can do about it, or have 3 health minions. And most early minions are like 3-2 that are good and that people play, so... Try to get ahead on board. I don't know about that. It seems kind of like a weird play. Because now we can't play a minion this turn. This is a 3 health guy. I mean, if he had a 3-mana minion to play, I definitely would have traded into my guys and then played that instead. Because getting early damage on Priest isn't all that valuable, because you have the hero power to heal up later. And it's not even like it's that much damage, it's, you know, it's 6 damage that turn.
Job's done.
My hand's shaping up pretty good now. Again, having double Sludge Belcher in this deck, super strong. I'm definitely starting to gain a lot more momentum in this deck at this point. I mean, there's no way I'm gonna save the Powered Shield there in order to try to play around with a second Silence or whatever. This is not realistic. I'm gonna play the Sludge Belcher. Forces him to hero power and trade with his minion unless he has someone else, so pretty awkward for him. The Thought Steal as well. Has Sludge Belcher of his own. Deciding not to clear mine. Don't think that's the greatest here. The other thing I could have done there is killed his Sludge Belcher and then boosted my by giving my Farseer health instead. So I mean, okay turn for him. Holy Smite's a pretty good draw. I really want to play that Giant, but we can't. We're just that 1 minute short. Just definitely want a Holy Smite. End up playing Loot Hoarder instead of Thought Steal here, so I can... I guess I'll play Thought Steal actually instead. Thought Steal 2 really, really good cards. Decided to heal this guy so he doesn't have another Starfire or like a swipe and then hero power. Just I want to keep this alive, so. And playing Loot Hoarder doesn't really do a whole lot for me. Yeah, that was a super strong Slot Steal, getting swipe and wrath. I was just to clear that pretty easily. With the Ghoul as well. Wrath first to see what we draw, of course. Don't really want a Wrath swipe. It's a 2-for-1 for him. Especially this way I get more power on my Ghoul as well. Which is pretty useful. Swipe is such a strong card, and especially because he doesn't know I have it from the Thought Steal. I mean, it's not something he's probably going to play around. And it can be such a big game changer, so try to save that. He's got the Hogger. Guy. Now we get kind of all the value out of this Ghoul here. Or I can just Shower Pain and trade. That's better again. I guess I swipe. Either play is fine. It's hard to see. I've seen a lot of silence out of this guy. So I mean, he's probably likely to have more silence. Maybe I get lucky and he doesn't, so decide to just swipe there. I mean, using Shadowward Pain and then trading is also okay. This gives me a little bit stronger board, but I mean, I have Shadowward Pain instead of swipe, and swipe is obviously a better card.
Squire, attend me.
Ready, sir.
That's not going to work out for him because we do have the silence here. the double innervate going off
Squire, attend me.
into the second
sir.
Silver Hand Knight. So we don't even have to silence that. I can just Shadow Word Paint it. So we get to keep the owl. It's a little bit better for us. Yeah, I decided to trade into one of these 4/4s here. And into the 2/2 as well. Just to make it harder for him to clear my giant. Especially because he's down to 3 cards, so... I mean, if I can force him to attack and then swipe, that's pretty good for me here. I will put him down to 2 cards.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Yeah, Nick's a really big guy. And he doesn't attack the giant, so he's in a lot of trouble here. So I have the Shadow Words after that card. Definitely the swing turn in this game is going to be that. That's pretty huge for me. I don't know why he decides to do that either, because I could have always just like, it gives me a 3-for-1 because I'm gonna just clear it with the giant anyways and then heal it, and then he has to attack with one of his 3/3s. So
The might of storm.
even if I didn't have Shadow Word Death there, that would have been really bad for him. But it's pretty awful because I do have it. Now he's just gonna get stuck under the Sea Giant. And Druid really doesn't have a lot of ways to deal with 8/8s when they don't have a board, so... Pretty easy for me to just stay ahead for the rest of the game here. I mean, he has, like, Naturalize, but that still gives me 2 cards. So, not the optimal way to get rid of it. He does draw the Wrath here off the top, which is really good for him. Doesn't really matter, though. I have the Vol'jin as well, Silence. Also have the Blood Knight to remove the bubble if I need to. So I have a lot of... He's just drawing off the top of his deck, and I have answers in my hand, so... Pretty easy to finish this game off from this point. He probably should have cleared my Sea Giant with his hero power and attacking it to 7/7. Might have made enough of a difference in this game. No reason to play anything here, especially because my hand is full of cards that are reactionary, that are way better in certain scenarios, like Vol'jin to trade for his guy, or Blood Knight to get a bubble. Mass spell as well. Yeah, it ends up being okay for him. Decided to just clear stuff here because I'm ahead and I want to stay ahead. There's no reason to let him draw like a swipe or something to clear my Fen Creeper here by not clearing that that dwarf there. The other reason I'm playing like this as well is because I have so many answers in my hand. I probably could have afforded to play the Blood Knight by now, but it's not how I play. Like, I think it's just better to keep it. Yeah, not a whole lot you can do here. That Fang Creeper is so strong and priest.
I concede.
And yeah, he decides to concede. Let's move on to the next game.